And react to the music, respond to the music, you know. The first album. But if you think about it in terms of that and how it evolves very slowly, you know, very slowly at first. It took a long time for it to get to the point that it is at now. Think about how it evolved and you start to see, okay, so this became that, and that became that, and that became, you know, and so on and so forth. Like, little things are added on top of, one on top of the other, you know. And you start to look at, like, you know, you love dancing this way, you're having fun, you know, with the speed, you know, how it feels to fly through the air and then swing your leg around, you know, in such a way. You know, the speed that you have, the power that you have, the control of your body, the momentum you're generating, things like that, you know. And you start to fall in love with that, and then you start to think, okay, well, I wonder, maybe you don't even think, maybe you just discover it by accident, but maybe you think, I wonder if there are other people that do things like this. Or maybe it's not something you think, it's something that you discover. If you turn on the TV and there's a Kung Fu movie on, and somebody's doing the same leg sweep that you did at the club. You know what I mean? And you start to think, okay, well, shit, they're doing it in Kung Fu. What else can I take from Kung Fu? I'm going to borrow moves from Kung Fu. Or you watch James Brown on TV, you watch James Brown do the good foot. You watch the way he's dancing, it's all crazy. His footwork, his steps are crazy, you know? You watch tap dance, you watch the Nicholas Brothers, and you think, wow, those moves are crazy, you know? They would look good with, you know, I'm going to copy those moves, I'm going to do them at the club, and I'm going to put it together, you know? And then you look at, like, Russian dance, you watch how they drop to the floor, and start doing these Russian kicks like that, you know? And you're like, that works, you know, like that all works with with my freestyle, you know, and you start doing it when you're freestyle. It all happens by accident. No one's doing this on purpose, it just happens by accident. It's because of exposure to other things in your environment, and your environment influences you a lot. It doesn't create you, but it influences you, you know. So you see all these things, all these, you know, Russian stuff, the Russian kicks and Kung Fu, James Brown, the Nicholas Brothers, and all that. And you're at the club and you're freestyling, and you see all that stuff, you're probably going to start doing that stuff, you know what I mean? So people were doing that, and those became the things that have created breaking, you know, also the Indian step, the top rock step that we do, you know, from Native American travel dancing. Those things, you know, you put all those things together and you have this hodgepodge, this very eclectic medley of styles, of movement styles, not dance styles, just movement styles that contributed to the development of b-boying, the evolution of b-boying from almost nothing, from just pure freestyle, unadulterated people just having fun with the music, you know, to adding these little ideas, and eventually becomes this, you know, becomes kind of set. Now, in my mind, I've never had confirmation of this, no one's ever said it to me, it's just my own thought process. It looks to me as if after those few things were created or were added to the freestyle of b-boying in the very beginning, you know, the Russian kicks, the Kung Fu, James Brown, the Nicholas Brothers, after those things were put together with freestyle to make b-boying, then gymnastics was added, obviously, with flares and whatnot. You have those 5 things, those 5 elements, maybe you call them 5 elements of b-boying, you know. Then people stopped adding new influences. They said, okay, this is all we need. We just need those 5 things, then we're done. We have enough tools to work with, to create a new dance style with. So we're not going to add any more, because then it would be too much, too confusing, too many possibilities. We don't want too many possibilities, because then where do you separate b-boying from whatever other dance form, you know, or gymnastics, or anything like that. It's understandable. But the control thing comes into play right there, in my mind, where you say it can only be these 5 things. It can't be anything else other than those 5 things. I disagree. I think that we should continue the tradition, and I call it a tradition, of adding new influences to the mix, to the pot, you know, and then melt them together. Because b-boying is a melting pot, not just of moves and influences and styles, but of cultures, you know, and it's always going to be that way. If you keep adding to the pot new ingredients, then you get something very unique and very new and very exciting, very interesting to watch, you know, very interesting to do. So I think this has happened whether as a result of me and my friends, like my crew, Circle of Fire, and people like that, or not. It doesn't matter, because it's happening anyway. You have people adding capoeira. You know, ever since that became popular, people started adding capoeira because it's so similar to breaking, you know. So that's in there. And more recently, people have started adding circus tricks, contortion, hand balance, all that. That's become a big part of breaking, you know. So that's people adding to the pot, but they're not supposed to, you know, because somebody says, a lot of people actually say that you can't add anything else. It just is those 5 things. They don't say it's those 5 things. They just say b-boying. It's no longer 5 composite parts. It's just b-boying, even though b-boying is 5 composite parts plus freestyle, you know. Now it's got capoeira. Now it's got circus, contortion, hand balance. It's also got elements of modern dance, you know, things like that. People are getting very modern now. I don't think they've realized it, but they're getting very modern dance with the way they fall to the side, bounce back up, you know. You see that more often in like new school or popping, you know, you see things like that. But now it's becoming a part of b-boying, to have you fall and bounce right back up, you know, into another move or something like that. It's very common. Even here in Portugal, I saw a lot of that earlier tonight, you know. Really interesting to watch that. That's modern dance, straight up modern dance. Modern dance, all about falling. Interesting way of falling, you know. What I'm curious to see is where it's going to go next, you know. Very, very exciting. But the reason that I do consider myself a b-boy is because I'm continuing that tradition of adding on new influences, new styles, you know, into this pot of b-boying. You know, I added the stuff from gymnastics that wasn't being used, like the plungers. Those are from gymnastics. You know, the only gymnastics we were doing before plungers were flares. Really, you know, just flares, nothing else. Maybe some handstands here and there, handstand variations and whatnot. But then I did the plungers, and immediately people were like, no, not b-boy, no. You know, because of that. That's b-boying to me. Right? That's the tradition. What makes b-boying what it is not the fact that everyone does it the same way, everyone has the same foundation, but because of the influences that created b-boying, that we used to create b-boying, with the freestyle dance, those 5 things, and then the tradition of continuing to add more. That's what makes me a b-boy.